A colleague of mine once asked, are there ways to attract or generate between 10 to 100 Ks in 100 days? And my answer is yes, yes, and yes. The bigger question you want to ask yourself is how to attract or generate 10 to 100 Ks in 100 days applying wisdom. You see, without wisdom, you may attract this, but you are going to self destruct. You're going to self sabotage. And that's the last thing that you want to do. You see, knowing what you want does not equals knowing how to get it. I repeat this, knowing what you want does not equals knowing how to get it. Knowing how to get what you want means that you are planted in purpose. Now, to be planted in your purpose means that you are blessed to be a blessing, and you understand the fruits of visionary leaders, and you are in your overflow. We're going to get deep into this as time progresses. Secondly, you must be rooted in your destiny. To be rooted in your destiny means that you're exercising dominion over your life. Now, this is big because it doesn't mean that your sense of self is shaped by what people say about you, but by what people think about you, because your sense of self is now shaped by your creator prophetic word over your life. That is what's going to position you to be rooted in your destiny. And to be rooted in your destiny is your ability to exercise dominion over your life. Now, to attract 10 to 100 Ks in 100 days means that you must have value that people value. It also means that you must give value that people value. The big question I want you to ask yourself right here and right now, what value do you have to give to attract 10 to 100 Ks in 100 days? Now, I'm going to share some techniques here with you that you can learn, apply, and master in your life when you want to position yourself to attract between that 10 to 100 Ks in 100 days. Now, one of the first things that you can focus on is starting a business or a brand that add value and fix problems. And there are a few selective businesses. As time progresses, we're going to look at them. We will look at some of them today also. So step one is to start a business or a brand that you know add value and fix problems. Now, how do you know that the brand that you have started or intend to start is going to add value or fix problems? You've got to do two things. You've got to implement the concept that we call the ideal client stress test ladder and the client conversion ladder. These two things are going to help you to be wiser and be able to deploy wisdom as you execute your business idea. Now, once you would have started the business, it's not the beginning and the end. And that's why the two concepts that I have spoken about, the ideal client stress test ladder, the client conversion ladder, are important concepts that you want to learn, apply, and master when you want to start that business and leverage your business ideas to generate 10 to 100 Ks in 100 days. So let me take elements of those two concepts to help you in your journey in attracting or generating 10 to 100 Ks in 100 days. Step two, you want to establish yourself as an influencer. Why? Because influencers, they have leverage. And to optimize your business ideas, chances to cash flow optimize, you need leverage. All right? Without leverage, you can have a great idea that never materializes. So it will take you some time to position yourself to become an influencer. There are fast ways in which we can fast track this process, but we'll look at that at another day. Step three, if you don't have the time to position yourself to become the influencer, you have the alternative. And the alternative is you can now collaborate with established influencers. And because you're able to duplicate the effectiveness and effective use of influencers, you can 10x the outcome that you want. Now, let's pause a bit and look deeper into what I'm saying from a financial perspective. Now, let us suppose that you have a business and your business might be a consultancy services, and you now want to host a business summit. You can do two things. You can attract a lot of people and create a low ticket income, or you can attract a few people and then leverage a high ticket product. And what do I mean by this? Now, let us suppose that you want to attract 1,000 persons. And at the end of the day, your aim, you're going for that 10 to 100K in 100 days. The simple process that you can use here is to price your ticket at, let us say, $5,000, and you're attracting 100 persons. All right. Now, this is a high ticket, high value clients that you're targeted here. So this now is able to generate 500,000 within the 100 days window. So I've shown you that it is possible. And this is done all the time. Influencers leverage their credibility, leverage their know, like, and trust to enable businesses around the world to optimize their cash flow potential. And you can do this too. The second approach is where you, instead of selling a high ticket product and attracting a smaller number of persons, you're selling our low ticket product. That means you have to work harder to attract more people. So in this case, you might be selling a ticket for $100 instead of $5,000. So you have to do the reverse. You have to attract 5,000 persons. That will give you the same cash flow within 90 days, and that is 500,000 USDs. So you have these two options to look at as you set yourself up to attract 10 to 100 Ks in 100 days. So this is quite possible. Now, there are a few other alternatives that I want you to consider. For example, you can become a real estate investor. And in leveraging this body of knowledge, several things can be done. One, you can create a knowledge pool of buyers and create a knowledge pool of sellers. So you're creating two things here, a knowledge pool of buyers and a knowledge pool of sellers. And you become the broker or the middleman. That means that you know who want to buy and who want to sell. And because you're now the middleman, you walk away with a percentage of the deal. That literally can set you up to attract your 10 to 100 Ks in 100 days. This could be done in multiple different ways. But let me go a little deeper into the real estate concept. You can also buy a property with equity and leverage the equity in the resale, which means now that you're not just coming in as the middleman, you're buying a property below market value and you're selling a property at market value or above market value, depending on what you know, how much you understand the real estate market and how to navigate the realities on the ground. So the possibility exists that you can buy the real estate with an equity that is above 10K, that is above 100K. Some people are able to buy real estate that has equity of 150K, 250K. They're able to do this and immediately cash out on it. And the possibility exists that when you know what you're doing, you can achieve this within 100 days. Another approach in which you can use to attract or generate 10 to 100 Ks in 100 days, you can invest in building multiple family units. And again, depending if you're building low end or high end, it can set that stage for you to generate the much needed cash. But I must also say this. Very often you know what you want, but knowing what you want doesn't mean that you know how to get it. And earlier on, I spoke about a number of issues that you need to understand when you want to position yourself to build wealth, because you can self sabotage. All right, you can self sabotage. Now, this brings me to the point where I can now talk about factors that you need to be anchored in, factors that you need to build a solid foundation in to prevent you from self sabotaging. Now, I'm only going to be brief on this. You need to understand what we call visionary leadership, because visionary leadership is going to position you to build wealth with a purpose. And the ability to build wealth with a purpose is a major difference maker, because you know that you are blessed to be a blessing. Now I'm going to leave it there. That's food for thoughts. In my next broadcast, I'm likely to go deeper into helping you to unlock the factors that you need to learn, apply, and master to prevent yourself from self-sabotaging as you build wealth. Be blessed, and see you in the next broadcast.